Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright guys, part 10, 2006 Kia Sportage engine rebuild. Today, let's see if we can get all the pistons in and the rear main seal. Coming up on Astral Auto Repairs. This channel is a member of the Astral Stars, which means we have a zero-tolerance policy against the harassment of others. Anybody who violates that policy will be banned. For further information, please visit www.theastralstars.com. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do is do our rear main seal. We got our new rear main seal and here our rear main seal housing. And we're going to pop this out. Take us a screwdriver, and what I'm going to do here, there's a few different methods of doing this. One, I can go on the other side and try to knock it out, but what I'm going to try to do is get this screwdriver right here on the edge and pop it out just like that. We can definitely reuse that instead of putting a new one in. Save the new one for later. Okay, Sivy? All right, clean that out. Now, to install this, is a different subject. Over here on the engine, it'll be kind of difficult to install it because I got the brace all in the way. So we're going to take this thing off. Now, what we're going to do here is try to set the engine up on its side. I wonder, can I? Yeah, just like that. All right, now I'm gonna take this brace off. All right, be right back. All right, guys, I got it off, and we already cleaned this up and all. That looks pretty good. All right, let's go back over here to our table, and we got this cleaned up. Because you're definitely going to have to make sure that's clean. And where the oil pan goes at. So now we're going to install our new seal. Now to put your new seal in, you just want to set it up. Dang it, now I get the glove stuck in it. Dang it. And you can actually push this in by hand. Now you're going to have to knock this down till it comes, if you can look right inside there, till the seal is flush right down in there. So, in order to do that, what I'm going to do here is take the old seal, put it around it, take my hammer, and that way you're not using your hammer and damaging that seal. Let's finish knocking that around and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got it in. Now, you guys, you definitely want to make sure you go around and make sure it's like even flush, even spacing all the way around. And if you're still not sure, turn it over and look inside. It's kind of dark in here. You want to make sure the seal is definitely touching the flange. All right, now let's turn it back over. Now this part right here, guys, is very important. You want to take, what the heck is it? What the heck is it? Oh, thing right here. Take your engine assembly lube, and you want to put some around the end of the crankshaft, so in that way you don't damage the seal when we're installing it. And you want to make sure you do not get none on there. All right, it's perfect. Now, guys, this is every part of this job is really important. So definitely, let me give you a rag over here for a minute. You definitely want to make sure you don't skip parts of any of the videos. Now, guys, to assemble these things, if you notice, a lot of cars now come with no gasket. It just have the silicone, but it's not really silicone. What you want to do is make sure you get an actual gasket maker, and you want to make sure that it says high temp. If it doesn't say high temp, it will eventually break down and cause some serious leaks. So you definitely want to get the Permatex. This gray one is definitely the best. So what you want to do here now, we're going to take this, and we're going to put a bead around this edge right here. Just like that. Alright. Let's close this up. Now you're going to have two dowel pins right here. That's going to make sure you locate this thing correctly. So then we're going to take our seal, put it down, and as you're putting it down, you want to twist it to make sure that seal goes on flush all the way. Great. Now let's get it lined up with the dowel pins, and it is down. Now I push down, but there is some spaces where it's a little up in the air. So that's all I'm gonna do. Take me something light, pair of pliers. And bring that down. Now you want to take your three 10mm bolts. Start them off by hand, by a few threads to make sure they're not being cross-threaded. 10mm deep, and I'm going to use a 6-inch extension with a 3/8 drive ratchet. And what you want to do is just turn it till it just barely stops, and then go over across to the other side. And that way you will make sure this thing is definitely going down evenly. And now to tighten it up, you just go till it stops and a little bit more. You will definitely break these bolts if you keep trying to tighten it up. Go over this one till it stops and a little bit more. All right, let's do the other one. Then we're going to set this engine back up on the stand and get ready for the pistons. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we got all our pistons lined up. And in the beginning, as you can see, we numbered them all. So I got them in order, and we're going to install them in order. And look at that piston head right there. Man, this lady seriously overheated this piston. Also, installing the pistons, just in case I forget to tell you guys later on, first of all, there's two different kinds of piston pins. These are called wrist pins inside there. And if you can see the box right there, that's the wrist pin right there. Sometimes they're pressed in, which sucks because that's what these are. And sometimes there's snap rings on the end of them that you can just slide them out and install them. No, I'm not that lucky right now. Also, on your pistons, you're going to see some kind of identification mark. This one has a dot. So I know that's facing the front of the engine. So whenever you do pistons, make sure you locate that mark and make sure you install that in a way that it's going to be facing the engine. All right, so we're going to have to set the press up and get ready, and we're going to start pressing all of these out. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're ready to press the pistons out. Now, not only do you have to worry about the piston, the dot, making sure it faces forward toward the engine, but also the rod also. Now, on your connecting rods, you're going to see two little dots. That is cool. That lets you know that you don't turn this around to line that up, and then the dot also. So everything's going to be facing it. So when you put the new pistons back, make sure everything is lined up. Now, these pistons kind of suck because what happens here, they got these little indentations into here, and so it's hard to get something to hold on to it so you can press those pistons, those pins out. So what I'm going to be using, check this out, guys. I'm using a power steering pump pulley or the pulley compressor removers. Piston pulleys remover. So what I'm going to do is you want to make sure you got something to hold on to that base right there. So it's going to be set just like that. Now it can go off to either side. So what I'm going to do right now is just get it down just so it can get that little bit right there. All right, and what I'm using is a 9/16 socket deep and an extension, 4-inch extension, and I'm going to put it right there. And let's get this in. Okay. Dang it. Okay. Now I want to take it up a little bit. Okay, you can see it starting to come out. So now I know where to move this, how much room I got, which is cool, great. All right, and I'm gonna go in here and let's, come on. And let's continue on pressing that out. Now, what I'm going to do here is I only can go but so far because it's going to hit up against this bottom plate. So, what I'm going to do here is loosen this up, take this out, and you can see we're almost there, starting to come out. So what I'm going to do here now is reposition my plates so I got an opening right there for it to go through. Okay. And let's finish taking that out. Rod comes out, and there's our pin. There we go. Alright, and what we're going to do, just take this and put this right to the side. And let's go over here and we're going to do our other 5. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're on our last one here. We changed up on our sockets to the shallow 14mm. Got our rod. There's all 6 right there. You showed them in? You showed them the 6?
No, just 6.
All right, and let's go over here to our workbench. we have all the rest of them. Cool. Doesn't matter. We can get these, put these all to the side now. And next thing we're gonna do is open up our box of new pistons with the wrist pins. Yeah, buddy. There's the dot. So we know that's going forward. Our new wrist pins. It's gonna go right in there. And this part sucks because we gotta actually press these into there and make sure it stays, make sure it's even. So let's get some new gloves on, and for this one we're gonna definitely be using some engine assembly lube. We're gonna clean out inside. Grab us a rod here, number one. We're gonna make sure we clean up inside here, all that corrosion and grime and all. It helps that pin a lot better. Definitely want to have that cleaned out. And then we're going to put some assembly lube into here, and we're going to get ready to press these on. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, we cleaned it up. Now what we're going to do here is take some assembly lube.
Drop the cap.
Yeah. We want to put some on each side of the pistons where the wrist pin is going to be at. And we want to put a little bit inside the connecting rod, so when it presses in, it goes, can help that lubricate. Alright, now let's grab our pin, our rod, and our piston, and I'll meet you over at the press. Be right back. Alright guys, here we over at the press. We got our piston, we got our dot facing up. So we know that's the front of the engine. And here's our rod. And we got the two dots right there. So we're going to make sure that's facing up. Put it right between there like that. Get our wrist pin. Slide your wrist pin into the piston. And then you want to bring it down till it gets in the center of the connecting rod. And push down a little bit. And you can feel it set right in there. That's perfect. Now on this part we need to be perfectly flat, and it's going to go, the piston is going to rest right over there. The head of the piston is going to rest over the edge. So we're going to let that rest just right there. And bring it over as much as we can. Alright. Then we're going to take one of the old wrist pins and stick it in there. Okay, and we're gonna slowly bring this down, and right now it's pressing into the rod. Now, how far do you go down? That's a good question. First of all, you got to make sure, now it's best to use something smaller so you don't damage the piston that's go down, because right now this is a little bit off. But I don't care about that right now. Just going to bring it down right about there. And then, you know what better yet, well guys, what I'm going to do, just so I don't do something. Whoops. Let's use a small socket so we know it's smaller. And what we got to do is press this so when this thing swings back and forth, it's even on each side. And you can tell right now, this thing has got a little more to go. So let's get this back up there. And get Piston way down here. Okay. Dang it, man. What the heck? Should have left it. Okay. Sometimes it's good to have two people to do this. Okay. And let's see how far we need to go down. Probably have to go down till it's right about there. That's why I like the ones with the springs in it and the clips in it. It's so much better. You ain't gotta sit here and guess. All right. Now, actually, if I'm centered right there, I can go a little bit more. Because what I did was put my rod the rod right there in the center. And I noticed I can push down just a little bit. Now right there is probably good because I do got that extra, but nah, I'm not taking no chances. So we definitely have to go down just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, now set that right in the middle, and that's perfect right there. That is perfect. Look at that, man. I'm gonna enjoy this engine running. All right, guys, and dot is right facing that way. So my two dots are facing the same way. So number 1 is done. All right, let's go do the other 5, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're on our last piston, number 6. As you can see, we're using a 14mm socket to bring that down. And we pretty much got comfortable with how far we got to go down to make sure it's centered. Well, Civvy did. So I'm not going to say nothing. We're going to let Civvy stop where she wants to.
They don't know that I'm doing this.
You do. Because see, my hands are right here. Yeah, buddy.
Why you only have one glove?
I'm the reincarnation of Michael Jackson. Alright, you almost remove this out your way so you can see. Oh, let us get a good.
I know you're not touching my camera with that.
No, see, clean glove. Alright, here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so let's back up here.
You can tell who's running the camera.
Yeah, alright, there we go. Okay, now guys, what you want to do is turn it over. You want to center your rod inside the piston. Right about there. Then you want to go on this side, put your finger, you're going to feel a little indentation. Go to this side, and you're going to see the same indentation. Matter of fact, let me wipe this up so we can show you. So you can see how good Civvy did. Alright, so.
You're gonna go to the camera.
Yeah, go to the camera because I suck at the camera work.
True that.
Alright, so let's first of all, center the rod. You can see the rod is centered right between the piston. So now, without touching it, we go to this side and pay attention to how much of an indentation there is from the wrist pin to the outside of the piston. Turn it around to this side. Can you see that?
That's how we can see better. Do the same. Do the other side again. But don't turn so much. No, don't turn it so much.
You got to tell me what to do.
There. Okay. Alright, now do the other side again. So it looks like maybe we could go a little more.
No, don't. What the heck you talking about? No, don't. Look, I clean that up over there. If I clean this up,
Alright.
if I clean it up, it'll look good.
Okay.
Let me see. There. See? Let me make sure I'm in the center. Okay, now see that side?
No. Turn more. Yeah.
And go this side. Huh?
Hold on. Can't deal with
Yeah, see
people's
that?
hands. Okay? But that side's dirty.
What side's dirty?
What side?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now we see.
Now you see the evenness of it?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, now over here to our desk again, our work table. We got all pistons done. Just, even though we know we're good, but just to verify, you also got a little dot right here. That's gonna be facing toward the front of the engine. If you turn it over, there's nothing there. So all dots are facing up. And we go down to the connecting rods where the two dots are. They're facing up. Watch one of them facing down, like that sucks. So guys, this part right here came out perfect. Everything came out great. Let's go over here and look at our old pistons. Them things suck. The junk man will like these. So we're good to go. So the next thing we're going to do is get our piston rings ready. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, before we do this, you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to take us a rag. And we're going to just clean up a little section of these rods. And I'm going to take a marker, and I'm going to mark these to line up with the rod caps, because what we're going to do here is take our end caps off. And we're going to set them up back here, because what we want to do is go up here and make sure these are nice and dry. And you want to get some carburetor cleaner, a nice clean rag, and make sure this is absolutely dry inside here, and clean those up so we don't have to worry about that when we go to set this in to the engine. So let's do all these, set them up, clean them up, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, we clean them all up. You want to definitely make sure these are nice and dry. And we got them all, our rod caps lined up in the back, numbered and everything. Now let's take our number one piston. You're gonna set it into the vise, and you don't have to squeeze it tight, just enough, just to hold it right in place. That's it. And actually, guys, you know what? Let's turn this around so we'll make sure the front of the piston is facing out to us. All right, now let's go get our piston rings. Be right back. All right, guys, here's our new piston rings. Take my gloves off. Now you're gonna have three. Notice the piston has 3 grooves. 1, 2, and 3. These top 2 grooves are your compression groove. That's for your compression rings. And this one is for your oil. And when you get a pack of rings, they are gonna tell you exactly what it's for. Like this one, it says first. So that's the top ring. Then, well, this one doesn't say third. Oh man, dang it! I don't know what the oil. It says oil something, but whatever. Here is the second groove. So that's how they set up. Now it's a good idea to start off putting the one at the lowest one first, and then the second one, and then the top one. All right.
How does one know that the top one is the first? That's just
If it's
like
instead of this one being the third,
the
instead of this one being the first.
correct.
Well, you notice how this one's got a wide gap to it.
Yes.
Well, actually, you can fit this in there, but it'll be wobbling around.
Oh.
But the third ring has 3 pieces that go to it. There's your expansion ring in there, and on each side there is another ring. So that's going to be kind of wide, so it'll fit in there. And if you at this point, if you questioning, you got no business doing this.
Well then.
Yeah, buddy, man. Yeah, buddy. Okay. All right, guys. Let's get ready to set these in there. Now, a nice way you want to do this, guys, is get your little oil can. Because when you set these rings in, you got to set them on you got to set the gaps at a certain angle. And when you go to put them in, there's a good chance that they will spin on you. And you do not need that. So what I like to do is I like to get a little oil. And this part gets a little messy sometimes. But what I do is take the oil.
What doesn't?
Yeah, when I take the oil and I I gotta put a glove on and all for this. And it's maybe a good idea to do this when the piston's out. Take some oil. And do that. And let it go around, get into the grooves. Because what this does now, when you put them rings in there, it'll stop them rings from spinning on you.
You'd figure that'd make them spin more, because now it's lubricated.
You don't want them to spin.
But that's what I'm saying.
Oh. No, because of the oil is thick, actually, you'll see when you'll see when I put them in. All right, we got that. Now set this up there. All right, let's get ready to set our third one in first. We'll be right back. All right, guys, the first thing we're going to do is do our third row. Now, what you want to do is first be careful, guys. These things are very delicate. Take your expander ring. Now, if you notice, I want you to look at how those 2 ends come together. See that right there?
Mm-hmm.
When we put this on, you make sure it stays like that and they don't go like that. Because if you do it like that, you're done for. All right, so let's get this installed. You want to put that around, start off on one end. And you want to make sure the gap on these, the openings, is lined up right in the center of the wrist pin. So let me try to get in here. And also make sure.
It's too many, make sure.
Yeah. The end of it, notice how both ends come together facing down.
Yeah, I'll just
All right.
call Astro and have them do it.
So, there we go. Okay, it's right there in the center. That's number 1. All right, let's get our next ring. We'll be right back. All right, guys, this came out perfect. Now, so what you laughing for? All right, now you're gonna have to get 2. That ain't stuck together for. What the heck is 2 of the rings? Now we're gonna set this one down below the expansion ring, and the gap is going to set 1 inch to the left, or you can put it 1 inch to the right of the center of the wrist pin, and then the other one is going to be just the opposite. So
Is this the same on all engines?
yes, it is. So let's set this down. We want to put our ring, the opening.
I have a question.
Hold on, right about there. And walk it around, and there it is. Okay. What's your question?
If that one goes below it, why didn't you put that one in first?
Because it'll be difficult to put that one in and then get that expansion ring in there. So that's why the expansion ring goes in first, and that's a lot easier setting these rings on either side.
We take your word for it.
That's right. All right. Now let's get this one. Now, guys, it don't have to be sit there and take a measuring tape and measure it.
So why
Okay.
is it
That
1
is
inch and
perfect.
1 inch?
What happens? This is a good question. Cindy be asking some questions. Yeah, buddy. All right, your piston. These are the side rails. So you see how your rod is. Your piston constantly goes up against that wall.
Wait. Do it again. I was
Okay,
too
your
close.
piston constantly goes up against that wall or against that wall because your rod is like this, right? So every time it does that, by doing that, these rings are not in a position where they can compress together and still be open. They're in that perfect position that either way, you're going to get one of those piston rings firmly closed and going to seal it up.
So the piston doesn't go straight up?
Yeah, the piston goes straight up, but because of the way the crank is, it's always going to be moved right, so it's always going to be forcing side to side
Ugh. So it's rubbing up
against the side of the piston
I
walls.
get you.
All right, we got that set. That is perfect, guys. That is looking really wonderful. All right, let's put this to the side, and now we're going to be opening up the rings for the second groove. We'll be right back. All right, guys, now we're going a ring to our second groove. Now, guys, be careful of this because sometimes these rings got to face a certain way. And what you want to do is look at the front, the tip of the ring, and sometimes there's going to be an indentation, a little slant on one side. That slant would have to go up. This one does not have anything, so I'm not worried about it. But just in case, I noticed we got some markings on the ring, so I'm going to just put that on the up, facing up. So now, these rings are going to be faced at 11 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So I'm going to have a gap facing over here, and then the other one, the gap is going to be facing over here. So this one I'm going to put it down. And guys, be very careful of doing this. Because you can snap these rings. Then you're getting a whole set. So, got that down there. Perfect. Now see, that oil inside there is keeping this from moving around a lot. Alright, that is great. Set that right there. Now we open up our pack for our first ring. And same method applies to this one. And let me see if I can see anything. Actually, yeah, you can. If you look closely at that ring, you notice that outer edge right there looks a little different. See it?
Yeah.
Got a little slope to it, a little slant. So we know, and actually, tell you what guys, look at it like this. If you look at it like that, you can see a shiny part going around there. But if I turn it over, you don't see that. Well, actually, you do see it too. But this, huh?
I was like, I didn't see a difference.
Let me see here.
But there's no markings on it.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Oh, no, it ain't so. Wait a minute. I gotta make sure of this. No, there ain't no difference on this ring. So, guys, we gotta be absolutely sure. You can't take nothing for granted on this. So you know what? We're gonna get us a magnifying glass or something so we can definitely make sure we set this the right way. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we verified it, double checked it. It is definitely even all the way around. On the outside, it does bevels out on the outside, but that's because it's on the outside. That's good. So what I'm going to do is the same thing I did to the lower second ring. I'm going to take the words and face them straight up. And this one's going to be at 7 o'clock. And putting these in, start on one edge, hold it in, and then you just want to spiral it around into place. See that oil coming out of there? Yeah, buddy. All right, guys, this thing is ready to be installed. Now, before we install these, to make this a lot easier for you, this is another messy part. What you want to do, take your can of oil, come over here to our engine, and now we're going to go to the number one cylinder. You might want to know, okay, how do you know which one is the number one cylinder? If you look down into this hole, straight down, you can see the crankshaft, right? Mm-hmm. You see what journal it lines up to?
Oh, you want me to see that?
You see how it you can see, you can see the one.
Is it supposed to be a number?
No, you can see how there's one over there.
Yeah.
And that one right there is right dead center. This one right here is right in the center of that cylinder. Now, if you come over here and look straight down at that one, you're going to see another one straight down in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's that journal. That's this one right here. That's number one.
Okay.
So we know this one right here is our number one piston. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is take our oil, pull the oil on our hands, and lubricate the cylinders. This is going to make it a lot easier for that piston to drop down. If you want, you can go ahead and do the rest of them.
You don't use that engine lube stuff on it.
This is more smoother. That's more like a heavier grease. I mean, it can be used, but I'd rather use the oil. All right, so let's get this done and get ready to install our pistons. Be right back. All right, guys, the next thing you're going to need is your piston ring, the piston installer tool. What this tool does is squeeze those rings in so you can install it into the block. There's another brand out there that's gives you a hard time, the one with two little bands around it. That's kind of hard to use. So what we got first find out is which one of these is going to fit those pistons. So we're going to take these two, we'll come up here to the piston. Oh yeah, let me see. No, that's too. So it's probably this one right here. Put it around, squeeze it. Oh yeah, that's going to be the one right there. So we're going to be using that one. This one right down. And we get our tool to squeeze it together, and this is like a ratcheting mechanism. It'll hold it into place. And then I can do is squeeze the handle and release it. So what we're going to do here is get this situated in here. Put it above it. Oops. Dang it. Alright, now we're going to take this off of the vise, bring it over to our number one, make sure the dot is facing towards the front, lower it down into the cylinder, and now you take a hammer, use the wooden end, and then you just pop that piston right down into there. Perfect. Now, you're not done yet. Now, what you want to do now,
how much force do you use?
Didn't take, it don't take much at all. If you hit that and you feel it stops, take it apart, because that ring came out of there and it's no good. So now what we're gonna do is turn, and you might want to just turn this just right about there, because that you don't want that piston to slide out of there. Okay. Now if you come over this side, there's our piston, let's turn this crank a little bit. Alright, let's bring this rod up here like this. See, it would have been nice to put the bearing on it, but sometimes you hit it and that bearing will come right out of there. Alright, we got that thing set up just like that. You can see me good? Mm-hmm. Now what we're going to do, guys, is again, take us a little carburetor cleaner, clean that off right there, and wipe that off, and then we're going to get our rod bearings. Be right back. Alright guys, we got our rod bearing here. Now, you want to make sure the outside, do not touch that, do not put no grease on it or anything. You want to take your lubricant and put it on the inside. Now again, the reason why I didn't put this on the piston, because sometimes you hit the piston and these things will pop right out. Okay, now you see right there on the bearing that little ting part that's sticking out. Mm-hmm. And if you look down on your piston, on your connecting rod, you're going to see a little cutout right there. So you got to make sure that lines up with that. So carefully lower it into the engine. And push that right into place. Perfect. Now, what you want to do is take your crank, you're going to spin it a little bit. That rod's going to drop down like that. And then you're going to reach in there and pull your piston and rod assembly up to meet that crank. And let's turn this so it's right about here so we can get a good torque on those bolts. Alright, that is perfect. Now let's get our cap. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we got our number one cap. First thing you want to do, a little carburetor cleaner. Clean this side up real good. Make sure it's perfectly dry.
Don't forget to drop your bolt.
Yeah. Then, get you another rod bearing.
So both sides are the same?
What do you mean? Yep, both sides are the same. This one got the indentations in it as well. So you want to make sure you match up that ting right along with it and push that in.
Lubricate that one?
Yep, you do, but not on that side. Never lubricate on that side, on the side that's on the cap or on the rod. Always lubricate on the inside. So where's
The side that's going to be on the crank.
You got it, yeah, buddy.
And don't forget the thing.
Where's oh, here it is. So we get a little lubricant. And you don't have to be cheesy with this stuff. Dang it. You can put this stuff on, because the only thing to do is just squeeze right out. And why are you doing this? So you don't have a dry startup. Now, once you do that, make sure you get the grease off the sides. Now, where we at here? Dang it. There it is. Alright, right here. You see that little dot? Mm-hmm. Remember, that's the dot. We know that's facing towards the front of the engine. So let's go over here. Or, another way is, that tang will line up with that one. They're on the same side. But I like to put the dot, make sure the dot is in the front.
There's too many things to worry about.
Yeah. Put these on. Bring them in. And then we are going to torque this down. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're going to torque these up. Now these bolts are 10mm 12-point bolts. You're going to tighten them up. This is kind of weird. Kia wants you to tighten them up 12 to 15 foot-pounds, then an additional 90 to 94. I don't know. But we're going to tighten it up first to 13. I just want to bring that in a little bit, make sure they go down evenly. So this. Okay. Okay, now we're going to additional 90 degrees. And for that, I'm going to switch over
90 degrees or 94 pounds?
90 degrees.
So how do you do 94 degrees?
I don't know. Well, there are torque wrenches that do. Alright guys, so to do this, what I'm going to do here is position my ratchet right here. And now right now, I'm looking at it right here. This is right here. So I know 90 degrees. I want to go straight down till it evens up with this block. Okay, and let's do the other one. Okay. Perfect. All right, that one's done. Now, let's verify everything is good. Can I turn this by hand with this? Oh, wow. Look at that, guys. With one, I'm turning this by hand. So you know that is perfect. Let's, you know what? Let's look at that piston. All right, watch that piston. What the heck? Yeah, buddy. Top dead center. All right, guys, that was great. All right, now we're gonna go off camera and we're gonna install the rest of them. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we just finished cylinders 1, 3, and 5. I got 3 pistons in here, and watch this, guys. I take my hand and my other hand on the crank. Look at that, guys. Look how smooth that is. You know what? Let's turn this so we can see the pistons. All right. Now let's see if I can do this again. Oh man, look at that. Poof, poof. Yeah, buddy. And I'm turning this by hand, guys. It goes to show this job is coming out great. So now I'm gonna flip to over here and we're gonna do the top, the 2, 4, and 6. Oh, guys, check it out. One important thing I want to tell you. All right, here's our connecting, one of our rod bearing caps. Do not mix these up. Keep them with the rod they're supposed to go, because what these are is cracked rod bearing rods. What I mean by that is, notice how, see that right there? Looks all messed up and bummy looking. And if you look at that, you'll be like, yo, we need new ones. No, it's made like that. These things are made as one unit, and then they are perfectly like bam, cracked, so they can only fit the mating one that they came along with. So definitely do not cross these up. This is the same as that raggedy, I think the Jeep Liberty got the same thing or something like that. Was it the Jeep Liberty or was it the Zuzu Rotor? We built both those engines. But you want to make sure of that as well. All right, I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna get the cylinders 2, 4, and 6 done, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're on our last one. Guys, you definitely got to get a tool for your piston rings like this, man. This tool is great. All right, enough of this playing. We're on our last piston, number 6. So we're gonna go over this all together. First, our expansion ring. Make sure that the two lines are facing down, just like that. All right, now you want to move over, Sivy.
Don't tell me to move over.
All right, set this one down into the last groove. Make sure the opening, the gap is right center of the wrist pin. Then, dang it, take your first ring.
What the?
And that's going to be 1 inch over this side from the center pin. And again, to install these, you want to put your first groove in there, hold it in place, and just spiral around to the last one. Get that right in there. Perfect. Now we're going to switch to the other side. And this one is 1 inch to the left of the center. And spiral that into place. Oops. Be careful that you see how I got that in the groove right there?
That's no good.
Heck yeah, it's no good. So you want to make sure you get that lined up right there. This bag is done. Next one. Make sure the words, just in case guys, make sure the words are facing up. 11 o'clock and 7. No, that's 11 and this is 5 actually. I did say 11 and 7 before, didn't I?
I have a question though.
No. Wait a minute. What?
If this is the front, wouldn't that be like 7 and this is 1?
Why?
Because
No,
wouldn't this
no.
be 12 o'clock?
No, forget that. I'm looking at it from where I'm at right here.
Oh, so just do whatever then.
Yeah, see, so I'm right here. Now, if you want to go right here, that's just getting too complicated because then that's like 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. That is 1 o'clock over there.
This would be 12 o'clock.
No, forget this is the bottom of the clock.
No,
You gotta look at it.
that's
You gotta look at it like it's turned like this. That's just the front.
Okay.
That's the front up there. Guys, like I know they like Tim is right. Tim got that right. He know what he talking about. So face it like with the camera is. There's the clock. 12:01. So this is gonna be 1 o'clock. Get that in there. Spiral it around. Definitely, if you don't spiral around, you take a chance of cracking that piston ring. All right, and then the other one's gonna go diagonal right across it. This bag is done. Next one, last one. Yeah, buddy. Throw the bag away. What's so funny, Sylvia?
It's funny if they would need to be told to
Heck yeah.
throw the bag away. Keep the bag forever.
Their wife or somebody be like, "Why don't you go throw it away?" I said, "No."
Tim told me to keep it forever.
He didn't say throw the bag away yet. He threw the other two away, but all right. So we put this ring on right here. Spiral that around. That is perfect. All right. Now, next thing we do, get our ring expand, our compressor. Let's get that on here. Guys, do not force this thing on unless you get it up there. Squeeze it in. Now it's ready to be installed. Let's take it out of here. Go over to our engine. Last one. Yeah, buddy. Set it down. Make sure the line, the dot is facing toward the front. Bring it down. Get that piston in there. Okay. Now, you see there's a little bit of give right here. So what I do is, just in case, I squeeze this as I'm putting it in. Okay, so let's get the wooden part of our hammer. Squeeze this in to keep it nice and tight. And then, bam, done. Now, the next thing you do, take your engine. Let's turn it right about here. Now, where is it? Right there. So now it's right there. So what we're going to do is bring it up, tap our piston in. Let's see how much more room I got. Good, I got more. All right, just give me some room like that. And you know what I'm gonna do, guys? And guys, watch this, guys. Watch this. I don't need everything is in except for that one right there, right? I can still take my hand on one end, and here's the reluctant ring for the crankshaft position sensor, and I can still turn this engine so I can get to that bearing. All right, now let me get my new bearing. The tings is right there.
The tang is right there.
So I gotta make sure I bring this down and line that up right there. And then push down this end and right into place. And you can move that side to side to make sure that's
That
in.
the tang is right.
Yeah. Then take your engine lube and just wanna lubricate the bearing. Boy, that's messy. All right, then what you want to do? You want to clean up that little oil over there. Okay. Now over here, Cindy. Here's our bearing cap, number 6. Take our carburetor cleaner. Clean that off right there. Take the rag. You want to make sure that's nice and dry. Right there. Make sure that's perfectly clean. Dang, that burns. Dang, did you ever get a cut and then carburetor cleaner gets in it or gas gets in it? Oh my goodness. Down to our last bearing.
Do you need me to call you a ambulance? Wham.
Throw the bag away. All right.
Don't forget to throw the bag away.
Line up the tangs. Push it into place. Engine lube. Perfect. All right, let's go over to the engine again. Now, first we're looking for our little dot. There it is right there, the dot. We're gonna make sure that's facing towards, oops, what the heck am I doing? I'm so anxious to get this done. Okay guys, first of all we're gonna do is push this piston back.
I was wondering about that, but
down.
I'm not the mechanic.
Then you should have said something.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
bring it over here. You know what I'm gonna do, guys? Let's turn this engine. Let's turn this engine a little bit more over this way. Dang it, boy, this thing. So we can make sure we torque it right there. All right. Now we get in here, grab our rod, and bring it up. Okay. Now what I'm
Looks like you need to bring it, turn it a little more,
What do you mean?
so you can torque it.
Get that bolt off of there.
Right.
Alright, let me make sure I'm just clean up over here. Okay. Alright, Sylvie said let's turn it, we gotta turn it more, so let's turn it more. Right there? That's good, Sylvie?
Yeah.
Alright. Just get that little piece out the way.
Still got some.
Okay. Now, make sure the dot's facing the front with a dot at. There it is. Okay. Let's set this on there. Get our 2 bolts. I'm gonna bring them all the way in. Now, let's make this a little easier to torque. Let's bring this like that. Alright. First, the 12 to 15. Everything loosened up on me. Foot-pounds. And what I like to do, guys, I like to just make sure I try to bring them in as evenly as possible. Alright, now let's 1, 2, then 90 to 94 degrees. Right there. Okay, and let's get this one. Okay. Perfect. Now, out of curiosity, I want to see if I can turn this a little bit by hand without putting a bolt on it or anything. Oh man, you know, if I can do this by hand, this thing is gonna be great. Yeah, buddy. Look at that engine, Sippy. You see it, Sippy?
I see it.
Alright guys, you know what? Let's turn this over now. Guys, that looks great. Now, if we look over here in our party line, we got the crank sensor. I guess I can install that if I wanted to. This mount right here, the center support, the water pump is next, the oil pump, and blah, 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 blah. So we're going to be starting to put these things together in the next episode. All right, we'll be right back.
All right, so this was the end of part 10 on this 2006 Kia Sportage, where we're rebuilding the, well, I'm not rebuilding the engine, where Timmy's rebuilding the engine. So if you guys have any comments or questions, you can post it below in the comment section, or you can email Timmy at tim@astralautorepairs.com. Hope you paid attention. If not, watch it again. This is Sylvia from Astral Auto Repairs. We can't repair it, nobody can.